Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears. With my good friend Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we have arrived at another new season. I had a little more pep in my step this morning. I know you did as well. Here we go.
Yeah, when you went out for your 5-mile jog, you were flying. You did it in record time because you were psyched up about this game. But let's be frank about it. No more radio shows, no more podcasts, no more just predicting what's going to happen. Now we get to see it on the field.
Here's the former Florida Gator Eddie Pinheiro to get us started. And off we go from Soldier Field. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Rams now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
While in college, quarterback teams that improved their win total from 1 his freshman year to 5 his sophomore year to 8 his junior year. Love that type of improvement. Love that type of diligence.
First carry for James Conner, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And quickly now, here's a look at the Rams offense.
Obviously a tough test for this offense right out of the gate. Road game in game 1 of the new year. Conventional wisdom says, go slow, take care of the football. I think in this case, attack early and get the home team back on their heels.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd. From the gun, here's Goff. That's going to be complete to his tight end, Everett. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 25 yards that time. And a nice start there to the aerial attack to pick up the first.
And I think preseason is officially over now. Getting into the groove of the regular season, that's a great way to get started. First drive of the season, what a nice completion.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. And the open receiver, it's Robert Woods. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. From the gun, it's a run for Freeman. Touchdown, L.A. Devontae Freeman, 39 yards. as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Excellent start there. First drive of the season. Big-time success putting it in the end zone.
And remember, that was done without any real map of how to do it. In other words, the deeper you get into the season, you got game film to work off of, tendencies to work off of. The first drive of the season, things can be entirely different than what you've seen in the past. It's a really good job of execution by them.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. 5 plays there on that drive. And it ends in a touchdown run from Devontae Freeman. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
He'll have a first down past the 40 and finally brought down at the 43. Give him 32 on the play.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense...
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because you can
under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal. And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys.
And, it's a safety. Goff got buried in the end zone. He couldn't get rid of it. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
Okay, ready? 41 to Mike. Come on, D.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A good pickup, 17 yards and a bare first down.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it. But it has been scaled back considerably in the last few seasons, mainly because people are worried about their quarterbacks getting hit. But when you call it at the right time and you use it properly, you see the type of gains you can get. A nice chunk of yardage there by the quarterback.
First down, a run with Cohen. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And now a look at the offense for Chicago.
And last night we were discussing some of the changes they've made offensively during the offseason, and we know it helps for them to have the first game at home. Hopefully this crowd, which we saw coming in, they've been here for a while, ready to go. You and I should have joined the tailgates, that's for sure. They're going to give them plenty of encouragement. They'll try and ride that wave and get their first victory of the year.
Well, the second down throw on target. And he's got this down to the 35. A good pickup, 17 yards and a bare first down. So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
2nd and 15. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. The defense here for the Rams.
Aaron Donald's dimensions were talked about big time when he first entered the league. Many called him undersized. Now they just call him all-pro.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Hey. 4 down.
He'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
But, partner, anytime someone tells me that fundamentals are leaving the game, I'm going to show them this play because they couldn't get to the passer. So what do you have to do? Get your hands up in the passing lane, and they batted it away on a 3rd down attempt.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Conner on first down, working his way forward for about 4 yards. 2nd down coming up. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Gone. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. So after the 2nd down, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. A shotgun snap for Goff. And he finds Stills, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith. On 2nd down, Conner looking for space. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. And this one goes angling out of bounds, and it will be spotted inside the 30-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, Reed, you don't know no better. Let's go.
And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. He's got Njoku, his big tight end.
An eligible receiver downfield. Offense.
Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there.
Red, 60 outlaw. Championship, baby.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. Back in Chicago, ready for the second quarter. It's the Bears in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll look to throw. He completes this into the hands of Miller. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Anthony Miller. 34 yards, and the Bears have taken the lead. And a nice job by him to catch the slant and then navigate and break free.
And receivers love slant routes because it gets the ball in their hands so quickly and oftentimes on the move. And when they're on the move like that, then they get to use their best asset, which is usually their speed.
And their speed sometimes, like this instance, can take them into the end zone. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead is up to 5. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And the end result is a Bears touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This is taken at his 4. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Here's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but bottom line,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Khalil Mack picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's been sacked so far in the first half, and if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so he can throw the football.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Here's Gone. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Now, that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage. Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep, because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever, vertical stretch, deep passes, go routes, right? What's that
Fly?
route you love? What's that route you love? Four verts. All of it working because they're able to find ways to get deep, and for him to show off that big, big arm.
We see some of that big arm right here. He has been great. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
A 41-yard punt, 9 on the return, and the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession, and they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you... Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Khalil Mack able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
On the draw, this will be Freeman. And down he goes just beyond the 35, and that pretty move got him some extra space to run.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Now it's gone. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes, but right now he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the 2nd quarter. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the 1st. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On 1st down, it's Cohen. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it. So those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Here's 2nd and 8. And he completes it to Cohen. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, we're not able to find any yardage on that one.
The Bears on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 9. They'll set up to throw. And that will be incomplete.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender. But you also have to give your own guy a chance, too.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5, and that will come the offense as they take over. And back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here? And not much. Maybe a yard up to the 29.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Gets it off to Freeman. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Here's Johnny Hacker now. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Tariq Cohen and the rest of the offense heading back out there. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they'll search for that patience here now. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And some space here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 36 yards on the play.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss, but with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. This one caught by Ridley. A good pickup, 17 yards and a bare first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. The Rams calling on their nickel set here defensively for third down. Back to throw.
I'm trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
After the field goal, on to kick it away is Pinheiro.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus,